Welcome to Sdeke Podcast, the student edition with the lovely, the smart Sneh. Sneh, welcome to Sdeke.
Thank you.
Great. Before we start, special thanks to our partner, Workshop17, for this amazing studio. If you're looking for world-class studio to record your podcast or interviews, Workshop17 on Kloof Street is a place you want to be. So go. You can check into the link in our bio for contact and for booking at Workshop17. Awesome. Sneh, can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Snenhlanhla Dube. I am from Durban, originally from Durban. That's where I grew up until my high school level. Then I came to Cape Town because of school. I'm studying at CPUT in Belleville campus. I did my diploma, my advanced diploma. I'm currently doing my postgraduate diploma. Still continuing, hopefully until the red gown. I am also working. I just started working this month on the 18th, which is something that is related to what I studied for. I actually started my career. Now, yeah, that's me. I don't know if you want to know more. I don't know.
Definitely, we want to know more. I love it. You just mentioned that you are on your third belt. You're pursuing your third belt. Can you talk us through the first two? What did you study at your diploma level, and at your advanced diploma stage, and what you're currently studying right now?
Okay, so I studied diploma in clothing and textiles technology. I didn't like it. I didn't know what was it. I didn't understand it. Someone else applied for me. I didn't have a clue on what was happening there, but I trusted the process and I eventually liked it. So I studied diploma in clothing and textiles technology for 4 years because I was doing an extended program. Then last year I studied, I finished it 2024, and then 2025 I graduated, and then I was also doing my advanced diploma in operations management. I graduated this year because I finished it last year. It was a 1-year course. Then now I started my postgraduate diploma in supply chain management, which I'm going to finish next year. It's a 2-year program, so I'm still on my first year.
Great. Let's talk a bit about your first diploma, right? What is clothing and textile? Is it clothing and textile, right? What is it like for someone who might want to study it, and they hear the course's name, but they don't really know what it entails? Can you talk us through it?
Okay, briefly, clothing and textiles technology, at CPUT, it is under engineering faculty, not design. Yeah, most people, they usually get shocked of that. So you get to learn or get to understand the garment, how the garment is made from yarns. Yeah, from yarn, like a yarn. Fibers from yarn. Yeah, you get to understand how a garment is formed or constructed from that. That is why it is under engineering, because there is a lot of textile involved instead of designing. There is also designing, but there's more, because you also get to know, you need to know, you practice how to make things like clothing dyes at the lab. You make that from scratch. You get to know or being taught how to weave a fabric from yarns. You use those weaving machines, and then you make your own fabrics, and then you obviously have to know how to sew, how to construct a fabric and make a full garment. So it's all about that. And also designing, you need to know how to design, like how to draw whatever that you have in your mind, or the picture that you need to be able to draw it, whether freehand or using the computer aided designs that we use. You have to know that, and then from there you have to then sew the product, like construct the garment.
Of course, by your explanation, it sounds very practical. How is it structured in terms of subjects? Do you get a lot of theory, or is it just very practically based? How many subjects, let's say I'm starting off first year or second year, or I'm in second year, how many of my subjects will be practical based, and how many would be more theoretically based?
Okay, you get to do both.
Yeah.
If I remember very well, because it's been a while, there is a module called garment construction, which is that you just sew. You're just sewing, nothing else. You're sewing, and then there's which is a practical subject, and then there is a module called CAD, computer aided design, whereby you have to draw on a computer, draw whatever. Like you need to first draw freehand, right, in a paper, and then you need to take that to the computer. You need to draw on a computer using the systems that are used. And then that's also a practical module. And then there is, what is this? Textile, what? I forgot the applied sciences, applied textile sciences. Those are where like you make dyes, you test fabrics, you test for tensions on the fabrics. You test fabrics, you make dyes for fabrics and all of that. You work in a lab. That's applied science module. It's a practical module as well. And then there are modules like I forgot the names, but it's theory modules where like you need to learn what happens in the industry, where to from here, where are you going to work. Those are your theory modules, but it's mostly practicals. You do like a lot of practical work from your first year.
From your first year. You previously said that the course falls under engineering, right? When I'm thinking of engineering, I'm thinking about science, and let's say I'm in grade 12 right now. My science results need to be at a certain level, and mathematics needs to be at a certain level to qualify for engineering in general. How well should one pass in grade 12 in order for them to qualify for this course?
I think the lowest mark is maths, where it has to be a level 3.
Okay.
And then, do they need physics? I'm not sure. I forgot. I don't think so. But the lowest mark I know it's maths. It has to be at least level 3. And then, obviously, you need your English like any other course. I'm not 100% sure on the physical sciences subject. It's been long, so I'm not sure of the physical sciences subject. And then I think at CPUT they use APS calculation method 1. You can get that on your prospectus, like where they explain the 3 methods of calculating APS. I think they use method 1 for this course. But your math has to be at least level 3.
At least a level 3. That's like in South African standard. That's like a code. That's like a 40%.
Yeah, 40% to 49%. That's your level 3.
Awesome. And this course itself, is it fully mainstream, or does one also get to study it in extended?
It has both mainstream and extended. I did extended.
Can you talk us through how does the extended program work compared to the mainstream?
So, extended. Okay, so for first year you have 6 modules.
Yeah.
Whether mainstream or extended, you have 6 modules, same modules. But the difference is on mainstream you do all the work in 1 year. And then on extended program, it's like you do half of your year course, you do it for 2 years. But you do, for other courses, if let's say you have 6 modules, you do 3 and then do 3 the following year. But for this one, it's different. You do all these 6, just half of the work, and then the remaining work you're going to do it the following year. So it's six modules, if I'm not mistaken, 6 to 8 modules.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And for most courses, right, you have your first year where you do first and second year might be your theory, and then your final year is like your practicals. Does it work with this? Is it similar with this course as well? When I'm saying practicals, I'm referring to you have to go for an internship. Which part of the year do you go for internship? Is it like a whole internship for the whole year, or is it like a internship that you do for 6 months?
So you have on your third year or your final year, it's compulsory for you to do an internship. If you don't get placed anywhere, I think the school gives you a project for you to do. It's 6 months. It's from July until November, December. But then you do get, maybe let's say your company decides to extend your contract, you are still able to continue, but the minimum is 6 months. Awesome. On your final year.
There is something you mentioned earlier. I'm speaking from an engineering perspective. You mentioned computer. It's a computer-aided design. It's like a CAD, right?
Yeah.
Which CAD software do you use when you are designing clothing or stuff?
It was called... There was this one that we were using. I forgot the name, but then we had to change to the one called Illustrator, if I'm not mistaken.
Adobe, is it Adobe Illustrator?
Yes.
Okay.
That one, Illustrator. Yeah. I forgot the first one that we used to use, but it was then cancelled. We had to change to Adobe Illustrator. We used just one. We used to do 2 because, okay, not 2 in the same class.
Yes.
I forgot how was the structure, but let's say third years are doing Illustrator, and then first years, are doing the other one that I forgot the name, and then first years are doing Illustrator. Then eventually, when they move to second year, they continue with Illustrator until the other one was cancelled. So I didn't get a chance to use Illustrator because I was finishing, so I just continued with this one until I was gone. I was done.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, during your experience studying that course, like at the undergrad level, which subject would you warn someone about that you probably thought that were more challenging or required more focus as you were studying?
All the modules require your focus. But for this course, I would say the practical modules. The practical modules, they can make you fail. They can make you fail, especially garment construction, where you have to do the actual work, where you have to sew the garment. Very dangerous, that module. It's easy to fail it. One mistake, if you have to sew 1 centimeter and you do 2 centimeters or 1.5, it can make the garment to not fit you. And if the garment, let's say you're making something for yourself, if it doesn't fit you, deductions, they will deduct the marks. They will deduct your marks. So I think garment construction and also applied. So it's 3. Let me say 3. Because even applied textile sciences, it's also tricky. You have to, because you work with chemicals, you work at the lab. If you, for example, you have to make a black dye and you make a gray dye, it's a problem. If you have to put maybe your beaker in a stove for 20 seconds and you do 23 seconds, it can change your whole thing, and you might need to start over. And let's say you don't have time to start over, you will submit it as it is, and they will deduct your marks. And then another module, it's the computer-aided design module, the CAD. It's also because CAD, when you draw whatever that you are going to make, you also draw the pieces, right? Instead of using a freehand and like drawing freehand, you can make your pattern pieces on CAD. If your pattern pieces are incorrect, your garment is going to be incorrect.
Definitely.
If you're supposed to make a piece like this and you make a piece like this, you flip the piece.
Yes.
When you cut the fabric, it's going to be wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not going to be like this, it's going to be like this. So CAD is also a very important module. You need to be very careful when you're drawing those pieces and you're flipping those pieces. Otherwise, you might also need to start over, and it takes quite some time.
Wow, I never thought that someone studying clothing and textiles should be focusing on chemistry as well. I never thought of that.
Yeah, you have to.
Because you don't think of it, you just think about.
You guys just think we just design and sew and alter thing. No, it's deep. It's that deep.
Great. Let's wind the clock forward, right? To you studying operation management now.
Yeah.
How was it, leaving a different course for something that's sort of like a bit. Then I'm you could correct me on this. I'm assuming that they're not entirely intertwined. Like, let's say I'm studying mechatronics. I will leave mechatronics, I go to electrical engineering or mechanical engineering. They are so connected. Now you left clothing and textile to go to operation management. How did you navigate through it? Can you talk us through that transition?
So in clothing and textiles, I was doing operations management as a module. Just to go back a little bit, clothing and textile is very broad.
Okay.
You know that in my second year, I think, second year or CPUT, I was doing industrial engineering as a module. Yeah, as a module. I was doing industrial engineering as a module. But okay, yeah, let's go to operations. So I did operations management as a module, I think from second year, if I'm not mistaken, until the final year. So it wasn't that difficult for me to merge from or move from clothing and textiles to operations management, because I had an idea of what ops is. I had a clue. So in clothing and textiles, you don't just learn about the garments or sewing or designing or whatever. You also need to learn what happens in the industry, which is your operations management. You have to know how does the garment get to maybe the DC, or how does it comes from the supplier to the customer, which is your operations manager. You still had to know that in clothing and textiles. That is why it wasn't difficult for me to move from clothing to ops.
Awesome. And now with ops, what is ops all about? Because it sounds like it's something that's very broad. How can you summarize it or simplify it rather?
I think ops and supply chain are almost the same things. I learned a lot of things from ops. Like I think it's self-explanatory, but then if I may put it in words, it's the operations of the business or the company or the whatever industry you are in. How does it operate? How, if you're working with certain goods, how do those goods move from raw materials or from suppliers to your customers? How does everything operate at the DC? How do they operate from receiving to what is this? Distributing to when they distribute the goods to the companies from your DC. So you need to understand the operation from when they receive the things from suppliers, the whole process up until they distributes those things to wherever they're distributing. So it's just the operations of the business. You need to understand that.
For the benefit of the listeners, what is DC? I've been hearing DC.
A DC is what's the long term for DC? But a DC
is it not a distribution center?
Yes, distribution center.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
it's a distribution
thanks.
center where they keep
Yeah.
the goods from suppliers and then they take them to their customers.
Yes. Before we get to supply chain, because you've spoken about it and say that it's quite similar to operation management. You did operation management as a course for a year.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through how that course is presented at CPUT in terms of the structure? How many subjects does one do in that year? Or is it only a course that's only given for a year, or can one do it for 2 years as well?
So I was doing it full time, which is 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
There is an option for part time, which is 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works, but I think they're not doing all of the modules. They I think they do 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. I don't know.
So you have 6 in a year in
Yeah.
general. Okay.
Yes, you have it's 6 or 5.
Okay.
Between the two.
Yes.
So you do the module called project management. I might not remember all of them. You do supply chain management.
Mm-hmm.
You do your research. There's 2 modules, but it's more like stat. You do stat calculations. Do that. Did I count marketing? No, I didn't. You do your marketing. Yeah, there's 6 modules. As for part-time, I'm not sure how do they split their modules for. But I know they don't do all the modules on the first year. They do half or 6 and 2. I don't know.
You are currently studying supply chain management, and you mentioned that are very close to operation. Mm-hmm. And somehow from my understanding, hearing the subjects that you've mentioned that are given in operation management, it gives an idea that if you want to go to your level of your postgrad or honors, you can take one of the, should I say, focal subjects or topics from the subjects, and you go study it further at the honors level, which I believe you did with supply chain, which was offered in operation, but you are now doing it as a course in postgrad. How do they intertwine, if I can ask that? Because you mentioned 6. So my question more is, I'm trying to simplify the question that I'm
please
asking.
Simplify.
Yeah, my question is, so from operation management, which is, I believe it's only given at a up until the advanced diploma level, right? Can someone study operation management at an honors and master's level?
My master's is not for honors. They don't
offer it an honors, but they can go at masters.
On masters, yeah. I'm not quite sure, but I think from supply chain, if I want to do masters, I'm going to do operations management, something like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, let's say someone else went into marketing instead. Can they return back to operation management? Because
the thing is, I don't know what marketing offers under their postgrad diploma. I have no idea on what they offer. I don't know what modules do they do, so I don't know if they're able to come back to operations. I really don't know.
Interesting. Cool.
You didn't ask your question.
Yeah, the question. I feel as if you answered the question because I wanted to simplify it, but you mentioned it already. That's why I thought, okay, cool. Because my question was essentially, you mentioned 6 subjects, right? I wanted to know, cool, at operation management, I'm doing it at an advanced diploma level. I want to go to honors, I can split in those. I can major in either of the 6.
Yeah. So with operations management, if you want to do postgrad, you can do supply chain, you can do project management. Remember, project management is also a module under operations. You can do project management, you can do marketing, what. You can do business admin, something like that. I only did my research on
what you wanted,
what I was interested in. Yeah, because when I applied, I wanted supply chain, so I put supply chain as my first choice, and then project management, and then business at what. So you can do all of them. But then with CPUT, you have to always put your first choice, put something that you want to do as your first choice, because they do consider that sometimes. They do say, okay, we received maybe 300 applications.
I see.
And we're only taking 150, and we're taking first choices only. So if you want to do, for example, if you put business admin what as your first choice, and then let's say project management second choice, and then supply chain third choice, it's 3% chances that they're going to take you at supply chain because it wasn't your first choice, meaning you were just putting it just there. You were
so
just
they always go
numbers.
with the first choice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you need to be careful of that.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I think they do that in almost all the postgrad courses and advanced diploma. They do look at that. If you are lucky, they can take you, or if they have more space, they can take you if you didn't put it as your first choice.
It's an interesting take, because I thought that the logical thing was to accept you based on demand, seeing how many people want to study that, not necessarily as it being the first choice, even if it's a third choice, but they see that there is a great number wanting to study a particular course, and then they pick you from there.
No, it really depends, because, for example, let's say you did operations, and then you applied for supply chain, but as your third choice.
Yeah.
And then let's say you got 80% average for your operations management. So if you are lucky, they can take you from the first batch with the first batch. But sometimes they're like, even if you got 80, we will still look at the people who put the course as their first choice. You can not be taken while you have 80% average just because you didn't put it as your first choice. Because it's more like you don't like the course.
Yeah,
if you put it as your third choice, it's your last option.
Yeah.
You like what you put there as your first and second choice.
It's fair. Actually, it resonates with the idea that to some degree, if you have gone that far into your studies, you must at least know what you want.
Yeah,
so
true.
That makes sense. So, looking at the journey that you have taken up until you've reached where you're studying supply chain, how do you compare the different levels from your diploma, how the course was structured, your advanced diploma, and now to your postgrad? How can you easily describe the difference? Because I think I mentioned earlier on, we had a chat about some courses, once you reach your advanced diploma, they are more streamlined, and others might not be. So if you compare the 3 courses, would you say that from advanced diploma to postgrad, the subjects are more streamlined compared to your diploma, or not?
So if I were to compare, first of all, with diploma, you do everything there. It's almost like high school. You do everything. You do even, I feel like, things that you don't even need. But then, I don't know how to put this in words, but you do things you don't even need there. And then if you're leveling up with advanced, more like in between.
Yeah.
You know, in between diploma and postgrad. It's still like broad, but
I see.
at least, you know,
It blends the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with also in with diploma, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of assignments. You're writing every term. You have a lot of tests. Well, with my course, that was the case with my diploma. And then with my advanced diploma, I only had mid-year exams and final year exams. I didn't have March and September. I was only submitting March and September, which it's less work. And then with my postgrad diploma, it's the same thing. It's less work. This year I'm only doing 3 modules. Next year I'm doing 2, so it's 5 modules. I also only have mid-year exams and and November. Yeah, final year exams. I don't have March. I don't have September. I only have assignments. I don't have tests, mid-test, what, quiz, tutorials. I don't have all of that.
Yeah.
It's strictly, meaning I have like 6 assignments this year, which is for March, for first term and for third term, 3. And then I have 6 exams, which is 3 for June and 3 for November. Nothing else. So I think the work gets lesser compared to the other qualifications. Yeah, and also the focus, man. In your postgrad, you do what you write in your exams, or what you study, or what you learn. It's what you're gonna do in your workplace, in the industry.
Wow.
Well, that's it with my case. What I'm studying in school, in a way that sometimes when I write my exams and I didn't study that much, I will just apply my general knowledge on like what I'm doing at work and write on that. You know the process.
Yeah.
You know operations process in your workplace. You know how things are done. You're just gonna write that. Because sometimes they ask the same thing, but then how they ask the question can be, so you have to just, that's what I do, and it works for me.
Wow. Was about to ask a question about how you keep focus and how you succeed working and studying, but you've answered it already.
Did I answer that?
Yeah, you basically answered it. But permit me to still ask, how do you keep focus? Because you keep on going, you're studying. And you mentioned at the start that you did not like the first course, but you finished it. You know, you passed it well, and you went on. Now you are studying something that you like. What kept you focused and grounded?
Okay, with the first qualification, I think it was the motivation I was getting from my lecturers. Okay, at first, when I like, it's the motivation I got from my lecturers. That, let me just put it like that, and then I continued. And then, how do I focus? How do I separate work and school? I think if you know what you're doing and if you know what you want, you always make sure that you do what you have to do to get there. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I know.
You
get it.
Always have to make sure that if you want to pass, you study, you cross-night, you do this and do that. If you want to excel in your workplace, you make sure you do what you are hired for. You ask questions, you seek clarity, you ask relevant people for whatever that you want to do. If you know what you want, you do whatever that it takes for you to get there.
If you know what you want, you do whatever you have to do to get there. Right?
That's
So, where is the destination from here? Because you're doing all that you've got to do to get there.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
I see myself in a senior position at work. Okay, that's a middle-term goal.
Yeah.
Not a long-term goal. In a senior position at work. I see myself not repeating a module. I don't want to appeal. I'm not about to appeal. I see myself finishing this degree, getting that third belt and continuing doing my fourth belt until the red gown. Until the red gown, the beret. Yes.
Until the red gown.
Yeah.
Great. One last question. Your life has been, your journey, education-wise, even as a professional, has been such a one with that speaks about dedication and focus. What advice, if you have to, let's wind the clock backwards right now. We go back to Sneh, who is in grade 10 or grade 11. What advice would you give to that young Sneh?
Yo, Shem, an honest advice, ne? This thing of saying you can't study when you're not writing, it's not right. Nah, I know myself. That thing, Shem, it butchered me.
Yeah.
This thing of saying I can't study just because I'm not writing, don't do that to yourself. When they say study every day, I didn't do it, and I know what I went through because of that. I didn't study every day. I was like, I don't study when I'm not writing. I can't study when I'm not writing. Not that I couldn't study, but I just didn't want to. So I didn't push myself to doing it. It's not right. For a grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, study every day. If you want to do what you want to do, study almost every day.
Awesome. You've heard it from Sneh. If you want to do what you want to do, study every day. Don't take a break.
No, don't.
Just study every day.
It's a scam, this thing of saying I can't study just because I'm not writing.
Indeed.
Don't fall for it.
She said, don't fall for it. And indeed, it's a scam. You're not a genius. You might be one, but just study. And you'll excel. And one day, you'll be like Sneh, professional, going for a third belt. We can't wait for the moment when she will be wearing that red gown as Dr. Sneh. So, great. Sneh, you've been an amazing guest, breath of fresh air. Thank you so much for being a guest here. And right now, we want to wish you nothing but the best. Can't wait for the day when we will have you on the other side as a guest, but with your red gown. Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Great.